if you don't understand and you hire too quick, which I've done, they're looking for us for guidance and direction. Sometimes you got to slow down to speed up.
Once you get rock bottom, the only way to go is up. I'm like, what have I got to lose?
Whatever is hard gives you confidence. People avoid the hard shit. That's why they don't have confidence.
I need you to fail as quick as possible. So now you learn what not to do, and the way I'm going to teach you is to avoid the mistakes I've made. So you learn more from your mistakes.
If you're not applying the information, then it's useless. It's useless. Professors and all this, like, they're teaching you business, but they don't have a business. They haven't applied. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my podcast, Fit for Purpose. I got a special guest, one of my homies. We've done business together. He has an incredible story, a lot of experience in the business world, and me and him just going to catch up, and hopefully you guys like it. Steven Morales, bro. Appreciate it.
What's up, guys? Bro. Thank you, sir.
So how I want to start this is basically, telling the guests a little about yourself, and then we can kind of go into it a little more in depth, but tell the viewers a little about you and, what you got going on.
Sure. So, Steve Morales, I've been doing sales for, I think, like over 10 years now or something. I started door-to-door, MLM, cold calling, acquisitions, all those things. But I guess that's my bread and butter, is just sales, customer service, just communication, primarily I'm focused, own a real estate acquisitions company. And I've closed over 750 deals over the phone throughout my career. And I guess people know me as a virtual acquisitions expert, right? Yeah. So that's pretty much. I do a few other things, but that's like my bread and butter. The other thing I actually do is I own a influencer boxing company called Hype Boxing. Been doing that since 2021. So we get some influencers together and they go at it. And it's just something I'm actually enjoy. It doesn't even feel like work, right?
That's the best.
It's actually harder than real estate, in my opinion. Sometimes you deal with all kinds of
boxing?
Yeah. yeah. But I love it, man. I just it's just something about structuring an event. I'm a big fight fan, and then you get some big social media names, and it's always a good time. So
yeah, I know when we went to Vegas, that was a good time.
Oh yeah, we saw, what was that?
Who's that one boxer?
Man, there's a lot there, right? So that was my first time in Vegas, and we saw Teofimo Lopez. He actually fought last night and won, but we got to hang around him, and then Joyce. Just Vegas is known for the boxing mecca, the world. So it was a really good time. The only thing that messed me up was the jet lag, right? So that I think
that was good.
Man, I don't think I fell asleep first 48 hours. I was literally awake for like two days straight or something like that. But it was cool. It was a good time.
For a first time at Vegas, I think that's a good experience.
Yeah, with some champions, like.
Bro, wasn't it like football something? It was like All-Star Week or something like that.
It was no, was it the Pro Bowl?
I think it was
the Pro Bowl.
So we seen all those footballs.
Yeah, we went to Cigar Bar. And Joe Burrow was there, Ray Lewis was there, Shannon Sharp was there, the owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, everybody was there. Invite only, and it was just good vibe around people, good music, just really relaxed.
Yeah.
But the Super Bowl this weekend is in Vegas. The Pro Bowl was in Vegas last time we went, but it was really cool. It was a really, like, I don't think I could have had a better first time experience in Vegas,
yeah,
right?
Bro. Yeah.
And no gambling, just hanging out with good people, and it was a really good time.
Yeah, bro. And I like the boxing aspect. I love boxing. Obviously, you showed me a lot about it, and kind of you got the whole company and all that. Mm-hmm. I'm really interested to see where you take that. You've been growing, I guess where are you with the boxing, like, specifically? I know you told me, you gave me some updates last time, but where are you right now with it?
Yeah, so, this thing started in May of 2021, and it was at a local boxing gym. It was more tailored for executives. Like, it was called EFC Boxing, Entrepreneur Fighting Championships, and we had, like, business owners, real estate investors, and we put them in there 3 rounds, 2 minutes, and we donated a portion of proceeds to charity. So it was doing something we enjoy while giving back to the community. and we didn't know what to expect, right? I just kind of threw the idea out there on Instagram, and that was a time where like all these guys like Jake Paul was coming up, all these influencer boxing things started popping up. So I just threw the idea out there. I'm like, hey, who do what real estate investors do you want to see in the ring out there, right? So it just caught a lot. I got a lot of feedback from it. And I'm like, oh, shoot, like this is something that people might actually want to see. So let's do it, right? So
that was the same time where like it was coming up. Like
yeah, it was coming up,
Yeah.
and I didn't really have, I had a great network of entrepreneurs. I don't consider myself a social media influencer or whatever. Everybody influences in a different way depending what they do. Like even if you don't want to be called that, you're in a category or a niche, that whether it's real estate or whatever. But, I just reached out to my network and say, hey, like, do you want to go 3 rounds, 2 minutes here in Tampa against another real estate investor for some charity? And a lot of guys said yes. So it was a really good time. And I was supposed to participate in it, man. And I got the vid. And the very first event that I put together, it was like I was watching from my house. And, luckily I have a great partner that's helping me run it now. And he helped, orchestrate and facilitate it along with the event coordinator. But I was supposed to fight this other investor. He called me out. It gets a boxing.
Yeah, there was some drama there.
It's definitely some drama. But, yeah, that's where it started. May 2021, 100-ish people. We did 3 events there. The last event we just had was July 29th, which I actually got to fight, and that grew to 503 people.
It was
in
a
bigger venue.
Yeah.
And now the next one is March 16th. We're expecting between 500 to 1,000 people. So little by little, it's growing.
Same spot?
No, different spot.
Nice.
The last one was in a different spot as well, 30,000 square foot facility. And it just caught a lot of attention. So like we really rebranded. The whole focus is not really towards executives anymore. It's more social media influencers, no matter what they do. And I mean, these creators have a combined following of, about 50 million, a little bit over 50 million. So they're able to really showcase their skills in the ring and show their audience. And it was just, it was very different structuring the event and fighting in it. It was probably the first and last time I'll do that. Like the day of the fight, I had my hand wraps. I'm on the laptop.
Yeah,
make sure
bro, you were
good.
running around.
And it was weird because like when I stepped in the ring, all I thought about was, okay, I hope the seating's okay here, this here. It was like,
my God.
I wasn't even thinking about my opponent. My coach over yelling at me. I won, but I know I could have done a lot better. Man, it was. I just got a lot of great feedback, and it's really cool to hear the feedback from the audience and the fans on the positive experience they had. And I'm like, man, that I thought that was chaotic internally, but the fans actually enjoyed it. So after each one of these events, what I do is I stay up late. I write down this could have gone well, right? This could have improved. This went well. Self-assessment, and just make each event better and better. And this next one is going to be a big one. We signed a deal with Fight TV. We have sponsors on board like Celsius, Adidas Boxing.
Nice.
We're going to have a lot.
Adidas,
yeah.
Nice.
They were the latest sponsor that just jumped on. And it's just attracting a lot of big names. And the county's behind it as well. The county sponsoring it. Pasco County Tourism Development, because we're bringing a lot of media and tourism to the area. So it's just really cool to see that in a city that I grew up in, a small city, and just bringing something that's never been done before. So it's a good time.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I can imagine. I told you, like, yo, obviously there's passion behind it, but like you were saying earlier, like it doesn't feel like work, even though it can get hard and tough sometimes. But it's one of those like businesses that is like fun.
It's
fun.
fun.
I mean? And obviously you have the passion behind it. So I was like, bro, keep going. And I've seen you grown. And I mean, at this point, it's just going to continue to grow. So, and
are we going to see you in the ring sometime?
I don't know about that.
But you got some bigger guns than the last time I saw you, man. So I'm going to have to see you go in there.
Maybe. I don't know. Obviously, you had already like a foundation of boxing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do, right? Like, nobody's just going in there just brand new.
Oh, yeah.
There is.
But the thing is, if they're going in there brand new, we're not going to put them against somebody with experience.
Yeah. Like, two brand new people. And the last fight, like, I don't know, bro. Like, how do you feel about, like, the brand new people? Because they just swinging crazy.
Well, I mean, they're brand new for a reason, so they just have to go against somebody else brand new. But, where this whole thing really turned was when I was putting together this last event, right? There's a commission in London called ICB, which stands for Influencer Championship Boxing, and they're marketing as that, but they're the PBA, which stands for Professional Boxing Association. They've been around since 1998, and they decided to support the influencer boxing scene, and they're the ones that sanctioned the Jake Paul fights, the KSI fights, and
they're out of London, but they're worldwide.
Like they're based out of the UK because a lot of, one of the biggest promotions is based out of the UK.
Okay.
And when we were matchmaking, putting the cards together, one of their fighters in their system was ranked right under the ICB rankings, and they're like, "Hey, what if somebody beats them? Do they get ranked? Like, how does that work?" And they said, "Well, we'll actually put, if you're hosting an influencer boxing, we'll actually put the vacant ICB title on the line." I'm like, whoa, hold on a second. So it just, a light bulb went off. I drove to my partner's gym and I said, listen, what we just got right here. And it's just like a huge opportunity. And that's why the event was so big, because that is, it's a big commission. And, they have rankings, they have belts, but that's what really turned this thing from EFC boxing to now hype boxing. But that was the moment everything changed. So all these events moving forward are going to have bigger names, and there's going to be belts, and there's going to be rankings. I mean, we have guys that hold world records. We have guys that are celebrities, artists, all kinds of things. So you're going to see a big mix when it comes to the creators.
How do you manage that and then the real estate aspect?
So I think it just comes down to, the right team. The thing is, with this last event, it was such a big event that before I delegate something, I really need to understand what the whole process is from A to Z, because if I just hire people, say, do this, do that, I mean...
They need direction.
Right? So I actually stopped real estate for about 6 months to only focus on building this. And it was one of the most challenging things I've ever done in my life. I wouldn't regret it because I learned so much. And after the last event, we brought on the right people to the team, and now I have a good understanding of what it takes to build up an event to that caliber. And now I have a great partner that helped me structure the first, 3, now 4 events, and he's helping me with everything. But now we know what it takes, right? So after this last event, now that I knew how everything works, we started getting people on board on the team. And, now I'm back in real estate, what I'm really good at. I feel like I said, real estate, I feel like is easier than those events, but it just comes down to understanding the systems and process once it's done.
No, absolutely. And I definitely have experience with that too. I mean, if you don't understand and you hire too quick, which I've done, they're looking for us for guidance and direction. And, we're steering them in the wrong direction because we don't even get it,
Yeah, man.
So
and it's cool.
I think that's good that you did that. Sometimes you got to slow down to speed up, and that was basically the perfect example with that.
We locked up 2 deals yesterday, two deals, I believe, yesterday while I was matchmaking, right? The team locked up 2 deals.
Matchmaking, like, what do you mean?
The cards, putting the fighters together. Who's going to fight
boxing.
who?
Yeah,
so while I was working on that, right, I can't do everything by myself.
No.
Everybody knows to have a business, you can't put all your time in one thing. You need a team. But that's how now they're both able to run at the same time. I spend a lot of time, working on both of them rather than in it. I know the real estate is now on autopilot, but I'm still, I still enjoy not necessarily making calls, getting yelled at, but I like understanding more about real estate. Real estate, there's a million ways to make money, but I'm always learning. I'm always an open mind. It doesn't matter what business you're in. If the second you think you know everything is the second you stop growing. So you have to have an open mind, especially when I still consider myself a newer promotion in that space. Even though the event went well, like, I'm always grateful, never satisfied. I'm always trying to make it better and better. When you have the right systems and processes and people, everything goes right. And, one of the biggest things that really turned everything around is I went to a Kingdom Business event, and it started making me look at things a lot different, right? Kingdom Business, how do I glorify God through my platforms, right? And I really didn't look at business that way in the beginning, right? So when I got tested and I went to this Kingdom Business, it made me like start all over almost, at least the vision.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And that wasn't too long ago. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like
Where was that at?
this was in South Florida. In South Florida, my brother invited me to a Kingdom Business event. I didn't know what to expect, right? I thought it was just like an introduction to somebody to do business, but I actually, man, that just like hit me, and I just left there. I'm like, wow, like, what am I doing, right? Not that I was doing anything wrong, but how can I really use my platforms?
It gave you a new look of how you look at
and
things.
I feel like, you know, I just changed everything, and how can I use my platforms to glorify God and start attracting the right people? And, you know, all business relationships come from the right principles and alignment and the vision.
You know, core values, and they got to align with yours.
And, you know, that's why I feel like you and I got along so well, because I've been in partnerships, and you know, there's no such thing as a perfect partnership. But whenever, you know, partners disagree on something, you just talk about it. I don't feel like we ever got to a point where we hate each other. Some partnerships out there, it's just like, if it's just for the money and that's it, like what value can we bring to each other? What vision do we have? And that's where a lot of people, they get partners just for moral support. And you have to bring value to the table, right? So
it's either moral support with no value, or just pure monetary value with no relationship.
Yeah, if it's just transactional, then what's the point?
Exactly.
It's got to be a real, not only the vision, the alignment, the goals, you know. And I felt like you and I, when we were partnered up in the real estate investment firm, everything was, you know, there was bumps in the road, but we always addressed them, and we always came to an agreement after disagreement. And that was, I mean, started that March 2020, right before the pandemic.
Was it 3 years or 2 years?
March 2020. I was at a beach, and I was in Puerto Rico. It was the first time I heard about COVID, and I was like, man, like, what is this? The airport shut down. There's a curfew, and I was supposed to launch this thing. And because of virtual acquisition skills, right? Like, you had the process systems, I had the sales training and the people. It came together. It's a perfect match, and you know, it went very well. We actually felt like we thrived.
Yeah, I know we did.
There's some people shut down. So.
Yeah, no, I was, you know, telling my team about that. We did great, and we're on to bigger and better things, and you know, still operating, you know, in one way or another, or involved, but we grew from there. So that's why we got all these other things now, and stuff like that. But no, absolutely, and it was a perfect match, not only through value, but also me and you can hang out. We can talk about life. We can talk about family. About
it's never just transactional.
Exactly,
that's like
bro.
The worst.
No, that is, bro.
And I've been in those partnerships, and I feel like God put me there to make, you know, teach me a lesson. Like, if you go in a partnership, just think about the money. There's one. I'm not going to get into it, but I just saw dollar signs. He saw dollar signs. There was no core values. There's no foundation. That thing, it was one of the hardest lessons of my life, but it taught me the most. You know, so I was always very careful about how I move forward, because there's people of opportunity out there, and then there's people's of alignment. Like, you want to make sure that whoever is your business partner, it's like you're married to them.
You are
married to them.
Kind of, you know, especially when you know, get in a entity or a company with somebody.
Yeah, you never want to be married to a gold digger, right? So you gotta make sure you're both on the same page.
Yeah, bro. No, absolutely, and I felt the same way. And bro, one thing I always tell everybody: I'm picky with partnerships. I'm very picky. I've only had a handful, so that says something about you in terms of us coming together. It was a good partnership. And like I said, we're doing bigger and better things now, you know, and hopefully there's probably some future. I mean, we always talk anyway. We always catch up.
Real estate has a lot of ways to make money, regardless what asset class you're in, whether you're in self-storage or I'm in single family. It's like, it has a lot of the same processes and tools and, you know, same foundations. It's just, there's so much different ways to make money, but, you know, you're always somebody I consider like a real friend, somebody I could trust. And I know there's a lot more to come. So. Yeah,
even on the boxing side, I told you too, bro. Like, let me know. You know, we're always talking about that. So, I was gonna hone in on, you were talking about partnerships and the problem that you went through.
Yeah.
Let's start with how you looked at that problem when you first kind of experienced it, and how you look at problems now. Do you look at problems the same way? Do you assess them differently? How do you feel about problems? What's your perspective on problems? Because obviously a lot of people, they have, you know, a lot of problems, and, you know, they can get overwhelmed. They can get buried under the problems. They feel like there's no way out. How do you feel about problems, especially in business where it's every day?
Right. I mean, business is problem solving.
Exactly, at its core.
So like, if you don't have problems, you don't have a business, or else you're not gonna make
That's
any
a good
money.
way. That's a good way of looking at it.
So everybody has a problem. You're bringing a solution to it. So that's why entrepreneurship's not for everybody.
Yeah.
You have to have thick skin. What really taught me that sales, like I got tricked into sales. I saw an ad on Craigslist a long time ago, company seeking account executive, and I showed up, and it's like a door-to-door sales. I'm like, dude, this is not what I signed up for. I'm the one that shuts the door on people's face. But I'm like, what have I got to lose? At that time, I mean, let me tell you, a lot of people, they always have excuses. And at that time, man, I was working at a grocery store during the day, in the mornings, at a grocery store in the mornings. At night, I'd be a dishwasher throughout the week. On the weekends, I'd work at a gas station during the day. And the weekends at night, I work as a bar back. I had 4 jobs.
Damn, bro.
I was going through a divorce. I was having a kid. And guess what? I still made it. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't give up. And I said, okay, I could use this to feel as a victim, or I can use this pain for success. And a lot of people will victimize themselves, have a poor mindset. That's how I got into real estate, because I met somebody at the restaurant. I said, what do you do? He's like, I do real estate investment and sales. I looked at real estate investment, the rest is history. But, I look at problems like opportunities, not only to give back and help the person, but like I said, if you don't have problems and you don't have solutions, you don't have a business. So, entrepreneurs have to learn how to manage stress, how to have thick skin, how to embrace rejection. It's never going to be perfect. It's going to be like a roller coaster. Yeah. And you're going to get better at it. It never gets easier.
No, it never does. You get better. Mm-hmm. That's what I think. You get better. You have to get better. You have to make yourself stronger. Yeah. Because like you said, I like how you said that. Like, if you don't have problems, you don't have business. So problems never disappear. I think a lot of people think there's this point where they get to, and whether it's money or whatever, there's no problems, they're on a beach somewhere, like passive income, like this type of advertising of people. Yep. But I like how you put that. So I guess, one thing I kind of wanted to dig a little deeper with that. You said you have 4 jobs, going through a divorce. That's a lot. Having a child at that point, you could have victimized it, but instead you used it, you leveraged it to be stronger. What would you tell people kind of going through, I would say problems, that are minuscule to that? A lot of people think they have problems until you compare it to something else. But in terms of advising them on maybe, looking at problems in a different way, or, elaborating a little more on the details of how you did that. Obviously, it wasn't just straight cut where you just, but obviously it was progressively where maybe you were going through it, but then you kind of figured your way out and you used it. Can you elaborate a little more on that?
Yeah, I think there's a point in everybody's life where they get tested. And depending how you respond to that, not react.
Yeah, I like that.
Depending how you respond to that is going to determine the outcome. And I could have just felt pity. It was really tough, man. I'm big on mental health, and that was a really low point in my life. And luckily, I went through it because I had support from my family, the church, and I just had a fire. Once you hit rock bottom, the only way to go is up. So I'm like, what have I got to lose, right? Now, eventually, I dropped one of those jobs to get back into door-to-door, and then slowly transition into a real estate firm that I landed. And then I dropped all of them and went all in. But, when I was working those 4 jobs and going through the divorce, it's all about mindset, right? You have to have the right support. You got to have the right mindset. You cannot feel sorry for yourself and feel like a victim. And what I did is I prayed, and I told God, listen, I'm going to take this pain and turn it as fuel to succeed on whatever I want to do. And, this is my first kid, you have somebody depending on you, looking up to you. How are you going to step up as a leader? And I felt like once I went through that, like everybody goes through something in life. Once you go through that hard stuff, like that, you are a lot stronger. It's just a storm. Everybody goes through a storm. And if you're going through a storm, you're listening to this right now, just know that, you're going through this for a reason. It's a season to get tested. There's a big blessing on the other side. Everybody has their own problems, different stories, but once you get through it, there's doors will close, bigger doors will open. So stay strong, keep your faith strong, and just surround yourself with the right people. One of the biggest things I'll tell you is who you surround yourself with. I know people hear it a lot, but it's very, very true. When I first got into real estate and I was going through all that stuff, when I was on social media, all I see is memes and people drinking and partying and smoking from high school. I deleted all that. From 2013 to 2015, I got rid of all that.
Absolutely.
And only focus on, I want to be successful. What do I got to do? I'll start going to real estate meetups. Whatever, career people decide to choose, start surrounding yourself with people that are actually doing it. Mm-hmm. And, in real estate, I know that your network is a big part to do with it.
Absolutely.
So I made a new Facebook. I added entrepreneurs, and you don't have to add. It's not always about adding people that have a bunch of money, but what direction are they headed? What are their beliefs? What vision do they have? What mindset do they have? And I went from memes and negativity and gossip to, hey, this is business. Opportunities, business, networking.
Being exposed to it.
That's all it is. And I control what I see. And that was a big deciding factor on who am I going to be around. You know what I'm saying? Social media right now, it could be used to consume or create, and ultimately if you create, you decide what you want to put out there, but you also get to decide what you consume. What do you look at?
Absolutely.
I mean, I like comedy and fun stuff, but I don't spend all day, consuming.
But even educational stuff or whatever.
You can always learn it. There's so many resources out there. That's one of the biggest things I don't like about people is that, especially people with potential, is that they say, "Oh, I don't know this person." We're in 2024 now. Like, there's so many resources. Huh?
You say they don't know that person?
I'm saying people have potential, and they make excuses because they don't know the right person.
Oh, gotcha.
If somebody wants to get in real estate, I don't know anybody in real estate. Go on Google, go on YouTube, go on a Facebook group,
bro.
go to a networking event.
Yeah.
Absolutely zero excuses why somebody can't get to where they want to be now.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't matter what you want to do.
No, absolutely. Man, you hit in all the key points in terms of what's going on, what's wrong with this world. A lot of, even younger generations, I talk to my brothers and sisters and what's kind of going on, kind of our era too, a little of our era. And everything I kind of agree with, bro. Like, we're aligned with that because, I can't even fathom, like, there's no excuses. All the information is out there. You can be whoever you want. You can achieve whatever you want. But the thing is, what I've learned over the last year, and obviously you kind of seen like I've transformed and kind of went through a transformation, is we don't have an education problem. We have an application problem. Like, people are not applying, bro. They're not applying because they're not the person that they're not on the level to apply. Like, they're insecure. Like, they have no discipline. They don't have the good habits. They don't have the people around them. They're not their best self. So if you're your best self, bro, you can achieve anything because everything's out there. So if you're not achieving it, then it's something within. You know what I mean? And that's why we're always working, on ourselves. And that's why personal development is everybody's true aim, has to be their true aim. You know what I'm saying? From you starting from that low point that you just spoke about to where you're at now, that was through personal development. That was through you changing, studying, getting around a good peer group, all of that. So I think a lot of people is looking for a quick fix. They're looking for a piece of education, or once I read this, or once I get this, or once this happens, everything is going to be the easy way, bro. Everybody's looking for the easy way. And what I figured out is it's actually the hard thing, and the things that you avoid is what, I would even take it to a point where, like, you can say God, you can say a higher being, universe wants you to do. You know what I mean? Who said, like, life is going to be easy? You know what I mean? Like,
Life's not easy.
No, bro, it's not. Who said it was supposed to?
To
Yeah, man. And you know what's the crazy thing too, bro? Is like, we respect people, the underdog, who's went through so much shit and then they've came up and they've got successful or they achieved what they wanted, and we respect these people. But we're not willing to do it. You know what I'm saying? The masses is not willing to do it. But somebody who got everything, maybe like had daddy's money or whatever, we don't respect these people. You know what I mean? No matter what they got, they drive up, whatever, but we don't respect them, you know, because it was given to them, you know? So it's just crazy how we all understand this, but a lot of people avoid it. They avoid the hurt, the pain, when that's exactly what you need to do. I mean, even comparing it to that same situation, bro, like you embraced it, you know, and leveraged it, and look where you're at now. So, bro, you're absolutely right. It's crazy that you were saying that.
To add to that, you know, one of the biggest problems I see is like lack of discipline, right? Like even in real estate, there's a lot of educational. Like I host some educational stuff, and one of the biggest things I tell people, okay, we're having a virtual 3-day event I spoke at. There's like 100-ish people, and I said, this whole 3-day event, I'll tell everybody right now, a lot of you guys aren't going to make it, just being honest, because you lack discipline. And what I see common is a lot of people are just lazy. None of the stuff none of the stuff that we've gone through matters the past 3 days if you don't apply it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And you know, I was like that in the beginning. And
we've all
we've all been there. But like when you get to, I guess, a higher place than when you first started, now you start seeing people have the same habits that you once had. And that's what I like to talk on with people, is like talk about them is you have to apply what you learn. You go to a motivational place and learn, you know, our educational events aren't there to motivate people. They're there to apply. We had a 5-day deal challenge. It's a newer thing that I started, and I've had 2 of them so far. And it was just an idea like, okay, I'm going to have 5 days. I'm going to invite 5 people. We are going to give them leads. I'm going to give them the CRM, the dialer, and we're going to make calls. The first day, we're going to talk about my process. And then day 2 through 5, we're just going to make calls.
Virtual or in office?
In person.
Yeah.
In person. And I tell people this is not a work, like this is not a motivational seminar. Like we're here to work, and I'm here to help you. And I don't know what to expect. The very first one, we had 4 newbies and 1 experienced guy, and we got like 6 contracts, $227,000 in contracts. And one of the guys, it was their very first deal. They'd never done real estate before. They closed on a $79,000 deal, and I'm talking about close, like funded and closed. And it was like mind-blowing. And I always like bringing that up because he applied what he learned. He didn't just like, oh, this is cool, and like I'm gonna go study it and I'm not gonna make calls. Like you gotta make X amount of calls, you gotta talk X amount of people.
You gotta do the work.
Gotta do the work,
bro, and everybody's trying to avoid it.
Why do you think so many people try avoiding it?
I mean, it starts with them. It starts with them, bro. They don't have the discipline. They haven't done nothing hard. And the hard things is what makes you hard in terms of doing things. You know, you said it earlier, discipline. Nobody's done nothing hard. A lot of it has been given to them, or they've just stayed on a very low level. They think low of themselves, and they don't apply. That's why, like you said, like he applied the information. All the information is out there. They're not applying it. Why? It has to be, well, if you're telling them how to make, this guy made $79,000. If you're telling them what to do, why do you think they won't apply it? I mean, first, they don't believe it. I mean, that can't be it, because the guy just had the money. He has a check. They don't think they could do it. So it's something on them. It's something internally. And unfortunately, that shit spreads like wildfire. Like a lot of people operate on a very low level, bro. A very low level, you know? I mean, we kind of know that, you know? So the masses and all that, like, they just, you know, get a job, do this, you know. They don't even like their job, but they do it, 9 to 5, blah, blah, blah. They got their little benefits, you know, and they just stay like very small in that sense. And, you know, that's really the masses, the sheep.
Yeah, I tell people, like, you complain about something you're not willing to do anything for. Like, you're complaining, I hate this job. I mean, the grocery store I worked at, there's still some people still working there. And it's because they love it, not because they're stuck there. Some people, there's a difference between I'm stuck in this job and I love this job.
Absolutely.
If you love this job, by all means, take it to the top.
No.
But if you're complaining, I hate bagging, I hate cards, and then I come back and I still see you there, it's not how hard it is. It's you. It's lack of
You're weak.
implementation.
They're weak.
Yeah. So it's always interesting when I go back to the grocery store and I see some people still working there, and I see two kinds of people that love it, which is great, and some people that are stuck. And when you're stuck in something, it's because you're either lazy or you're not implementing stuff, or maybe a combination of both.
Lazy,
you know,
but it comes down to them, right?
It comes down to them,
bro. Their mindset, whatever. Let me ask you this, bro, because you hit something that I'm like really big on: discipline. What do you do to kind of make sure your discipline stays at a very optimal level, and even to increase that? What do you do? Maybe daily habits, maybe regularly, in terms of kind of working on your discipline.
Yeah, especially like discipline's so key. Especially when we started the company, it was all virtual, right? Some people cannot work from home. They will have a hard time working from home. They can't focus. Some people cannot focus working from home. And I think everybody has habits that are it's gonna affect how their day goes, right? So for me, staying active is one of the biggest things, right? Going to the gym is not only something for physical benefits, but also mental benefits.
Yep, absolutely.
Like
bro.
I like running in the mornings for 2 miles.
Bro,
right?
That's crazy. That's what I do.
You do it?
I swear to God.
That's how you gotta start off the day, like that.
Bro, I start off with my 2 mile run and then I go to the gym.
Yeah, I have done the Apple Watch. I already know like where I'm gonna run the
That's
neighborhood.
crazy.
But
wow.
That starts off the day, and it gets my mind going.
Oh, bro,
yeah.
And I used to do it with music, and now I'm to a point where I do it with no music.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I used to do it with music, which is good because you still get those thoughts and all that. But now I'm getting into a thought, like even in the gym, like, and it's a lot harder and maybe a little more dull. But you're thinking about life. You're thinking about you're processing things.
Sometimes you can reflect on that, and you get good ideas,
bro. Exactly. And like I said, I'm just getting into it. But it started with the running. The gym's a little tougher because I love the music. It gets me, going. But the run, bro, like. And it's always hard in the beginning. It's always, I don't want to do it in the beginning.
I hate running.
Bro, me too.
I don't like running, but I still do it. That's what separates a lot of people, is doing stuff when you don't feel like doing it.
That's the discipline, bro. That's the discipline.
So I run for 2 miles in the morning, and I typically go to the boxing gym at night or in the evenings, or sometimes it swaps, just depending what it's like. But you have to stay active and do something. Like, I don't like to run, but I have to do it, not only for physical benefits, but for mental benefits. Some of my best ideas come from a jog with no music and just being completely clear and
that's
just staying active. And I love boxing, not only like fighting, but it's a very high intensity training, and it's great for cardio, and I've seen a lot of benefits, and it's fun. It's fun for me. It's another way of cardio besides running, and I incorporate some weights in that depending if I'm in fight camp or not. And staying active. If I have a good morning, if I start the morning active, like the rest of my day, I feel like it's more ideas, more productivity,
more energy.
Some people don't want to work out because they don't feel energy, but they don't have energy because they don't work out.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. So eating right is also a big one. When I did the 75 hard, a few years ago in 2021 as I first did it, and I can actually say I fully completed it. The second time I got hurt, but that first time, man, gallon of water a day, that habit stuck with me, right? I sometimes I listen to audiobooks and reading. I have a lot of books depending if I'm working out or not, but reading 10 pages a day, sticking to a good diet, it's like you have to take care of yourself, and it's really going to also affect your business and what your day looks like.
Bro, people undermine that so much, bro. They focus. They don't even have strengths, but they focus on what feels comfortable. So, I don't know. Maybe they're doing one of those disciplines, but not the other. The fitness part, they think it's just looking good, and it's so much more than that, bro. The mental clarity that you get and the benefits that overflows into the business, it will progress your business to another level. Like, that is a lot of people's other level, bro, and I just went through that like last year, when I started this whole transformation. Like, I was doing good in business, but I was like feeling like I needed something else, and I was looking at it in the wrong spot. Like, I was educating myself more and more, which it's good. You could educate, but you gotta do too. bro, I found everything through fitness, bro. Like, I got in good shape 80% because of the mental benefits, because I needed it. And now I use it for, like, if I'm frustrated or I'm not in I use it to to manipulate my energy, you know?
Yeah.
Because I wake up, I don't know about you, but I wake up not in a great mood, or because you have a low energy, bro. Nobody ever woke up like laughing or something like that. Because naturally, when you're getting up and all that, so you have a low energy. And then I go for my run, and I come and I'm like ecstatic, like my frequency is like high, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm just getting shit done, and then I hit the gym, and that keeps it going. So when you hit the gym at night, that's a workout, or that's okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a workout. I mean, sometimes it's sparring too, depending if it's a fight camp or somebody on the team's fight camp. So it's always a combination. But like whether I'm working out or sparring, it's a great workout, and they have weights there and stuff. And sometimes if I don't go to the boxing gym at night, I go to the the weight gym, like to lift weights and stuff. So I always like mixing it up and keeping it fun, and it's just a place a time when I can really get clarity. Even like in business, not every day is going to go perfect, right? But you have to channel that energy. You can go home and complain, or you can go to the gym.
Yeah, that's the perfect, bro. That's the perfect time to go to the gym with your problems, bro. Because for me, it doesn't only relieve the stress, but I solve problems, bro. Mm-hmm. I solve them there, So it's just crazy how people just neglect that and avoid it when, like, that's what they need to do. Mm-hmm. That's what they need to do. Is there anything else that you utilize for discipline besides fitness? Well, you said eating, which I kind of put those together, like fitness and then eating right. They are separate because, so for me, like I look at everything as wins, right, throughout my day. So like my process is like started waking up early, bro. That's either a win or a loss. That's your first thing, So I'm already starting the day good or bad, and even if, I mean, bro, I've been on a 5 a.m. club since last year, and I wake up, and even like yesterday, we had like a conference, and then we smoked cigars, and I got home late. I don't drink. I haven't drunk since last year. Got home late. I got home like at 1. I still woke up at 5 because it's a non-negotiable, bro, because it's good. I'm not worried about sleep anymore. Like, I know I need my sleep, but if I chose to come home late, that's on me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I should be punished. That's how I look at it, bro. Like, I should be punished. You know what I mean? And it's, it makes you stronger and it gives you more confidence. And again, it hurts. That's, you're tired, but after you get over that, that's confidence. Like, shit, I still woke up, and that gives you confidence. Whatever is hard gives you confidence. People avoid the hard shit, and that's why they don't have confidence, bro.
Yeah.
And technically, bro, like our confidence, a lot of it is based on all the hard shit we went through in our past, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we stand on, the confidence that we have. Like, if somebody's like, who are you? Like, what have you done or whatever? That's based on all the hard shit that you've overcame, that I've overcame. So it's crazy. Like, so I've changed my mindset in terms of what's hard and problems. We don't really have problems. Business stuff, that's not a problem. People have real problems, bro. Like, real problems, like health, like, not going to make it type of shit, whether it's them or their family. That's a real problem. And when you think about it like that and you step back, you're like, shit, I'm just really ungrateful at this point. You know what I mean? And then hard shit, which is my whole routine that I do every day, which gives me power, is because hard shit is what gives us confidence, like I said, and you can build off that momentum. So I wake up early, I run. I don't want to run, but I run, and then it usually the halfway towards that first mile, I think it starts kicking in. Let's just say the first mile, but then I love it. Then once I'm in that, so fitness, being active, diet, bro. So these are all wins for me. So if I woke up early, it's a win. Then I hit the run, that's a win. I could choose not to, that's a loss. And my diet, that's a win. My gym, that's a win. And then working on some purpose, which is business and some other stuff that I have personally in terms of goals. But these are all wins, and what I found out, bro, like it creates momentum in your day. And if you have a win day, which leads to a week, which leads to a month. With you know what I'm saying? You just have that's how you have like great. You're always gonna have up and down, but that's how you progress. You know. So I look at everything from wins and losses, and obviously I'm human, so we'll still mess up here and have a loss here.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, nobody's perfect, but it's about what you do after that, getting right back on the bandwagon. But everything that I do is hard. Working is hard. Working out is hard. Running is hard. Waking up early is hard. Like all of this is hard, but that's what actually gives me the confidence to be like who I am and to give me the confidence to try new things and do new things. So it's crazy that you said diet. Because that's a big one for me and stuff like that. Within what I just said, was there anything different that you do for discipline?
No, I just have my habits. I wake up, the first thing I do is I pray, and then I try to go to the gym or go for a run, right? Typically, I like to run in the mornings, or sometimes I'll go to the boxing gym in the mornings, depending on the day, or if we're sparring, or sometimes we'll spar in the morning, and that's always fun. But just starting your day off with something. Some people they'll start off sluggish. Yeah, they'll eat something bad.
It's a loss.
Like it's already a double loss. A frozen breakfast burrito after you got home at 1 a.m.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
Watching
People
TV
don't know what's
or
going on with them. They don't know what's going on with their lives, and they're like, "Why can't I progress?" Bro, you got in late. You woke up late. You started your day with a damn breakfast burrito,
or
frozen
hangover or something.
You got a hangover. You didn't work out, and you didn't work.
I love what you said about to cut you off real quick. Is you stopped drinking last year? Why did you stop drinking, and how has that affected you since? Because I did the same thing.
Because obviously people know this, but it's been amazing. It started with, I never actually said and committed to quitting drinking because I would quit and then I would still have one. And I just said, I'm going to start asking myself, is it worth it? Is it worth it? So every time there was something about a drink, I'm just going to, is it worth it? And it'll be with like a few homies or it's a business event or something. No, it's not worth it. Like, I go to this all the time. It's not worth it. There's no special occasion.
It doesn't do anything to you.
No, bro.
Negative stuff.
That and really because of fitness. Like, I wanted to, like, really take it to the next level. So, drinking is a big no-no in fitness. You know what I mean? So, that helped me. And just the whole, is it worth it? And understanding societal norms and habits that people, like, we grew up, you just drink. You know what I mean? And always got to have a glass in your hand. And it's a habit. And I changed the habit to soda water and lime. You know what I mean? And, all of these type of things just kind of flowed within each other into strength, bro. Doing something that was hard, a challenge. Challenge myself to go to this, conference and not drink when everybody's drunk. And then, you get to a point where you're like looking around and you're like, man, I feel good. And then like other people come out and like, yeah, I've been trying to stop drinking. Like, bro, everybody's thinking about the same things, bro. They're thinking about the same things, and they just they don't have the strength to do it, So I feel great. I'm on a whole nother frequency, energy. I mean, even doing this, like social, like getting more on social media. We used to talk about it all the time, bro. Like,
so important. I mean, social media is free marketing.
Absolutely,
and it's
bro.
It's a great way to show the world what you do or what you believe in. And it could have a positive influence or a negative influence on people, depending how people consume it. But this is a great way to get your message and inspire others or other people that are looking to get into business or fitness or they need help with mindset, right? It's always good to hear other people's stories from where they start to where they are now. So social media is awesome.
And I started this. I always had confidence because I did stuff before this, but social media, it wasn't so much about confidence. It was more about things that were hard or uncomfortable, and
like what?
Social media. You used to tell me, "Yo, get on social media and all this," and I seen you were doing it, and I just never did it. And I thought I was in the right, but it was really just excuses, bro. Because like you said, it's so valuable. So this was even an opportunity to pursue based on my new mindset. Because once momentum, bro, once you start changing and you're hitting the gym, you're waking up early, you're doing your daily disciplines, you're becoming stronger, you're increasing your confidence, you're changing yourself, you're going to start looking at things different. So how I looked at social media was like, oh, I don't need it. I don't, whatever. And then I started looking at it like it's hard. It's kind of uncomfortable. That's why I should do it. Plus helping people, giving people value. You know what I mean? Because, you told me a few things and I had some other people, like I'll be talking to people and I'm like, giving them advice, and like they seen that I like doing it, but I'm not doing it on social media. So then I'm like, there is something there. Like I'm uncomfortable or something.
Yeah. So
I embraced it. So I embrace all challenges, all problems, all stress. I've changed my mindset and frame. But in order to do that, also with the alcohol, I needed to clear my mind. You can't be foggy. Can't be foggy. So that a lot of it is vices. Right? You got to get rid of all your vices, which drinking alcohol is one of them. No matter if like you just drink one or whatever. Why would you even drink one?
Some people use it as an excuse, as an outlet if they're going through something rough, when they can just go to the gym. Yeah, alcohol is actually going to make things worse. There's nothing you get out of it besides.
It's 2 steps back.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the problem's still there.
Exactly.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, so people can always decide where they want to channel your energy. But yeah, social media, we said, is great, and I respect a lot you challenging yourself to do something that's uncomfortable, because now I'm probably sure you're a lot more comfortable now than when you first started, simply by starting.
No, absolutely.
You're not doing any TikTok dances or anything like that.
No, bro.
At least you're
I ain't going to do
spitting
that.
some good education out there.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that,
but maybe we might see some TikTok dances from this guy. We'll know.
That ain't that's not about it's hard or I'm scared about doing that. That's not part of my stuff. But embracing social media, you're absolutely right. Doing something that's hard, among other things too. But again, like I tell everybody, it's about yourself. It's about internally. It's about focusing on yourself. It's not about another book, even though you want to read books, you want to educate yourself. But if you're not applying the information, then it's useless. It's useless, bro. That's really like academics, right? Professors and all this, like. Bro, they're teaching you business, but they don't have a business. They haven't applied.
What do you think about education, school?
Yeah, man.
To be honest, this is your podcast.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I don't have.
I don't want to interview you, but I'm curious.
You can ask me, and I don't have a problem like saying how I feel.
Like we just said, applying at school, professors, but I always like hearing people's different perspectives on education, school system.
I have actually. I'm kind of on the both sides, even though I really lean on, self-educated. You don't need a 4-year, 6-year bachelor, whatever. Now, if you're in a position where, but on the flip side to that, what I was saying, it's not bad if you have like a scholarship or it's paid for you, because. Looking back, bro, if I did a 4-year, like I would be getting out of school with a 4-year at 22, 21, 22. So like, bro, you're a baby. Like you're not really a baby, but you know what I mean? You have so much time. So it's okay, and then there's a lot of social aspects of college too, right? Like you learn a lot of stuff outside of the classroom.
You get tested too.
You
get tested with drinking and
tested.
Stuff like that,
yeah, absolutely. And you have the social aspect of it.
Yeah.
So, but 80% is, bro, it's kind of useless. And I want to get away from book knowledge to street knowledge or to hands-on knowledge as fast as possible, right? Like, me and you on the real estate side or, how, what we kind of went through, a lot of it has been hands-on, bro. You didn't learn sales. You probably learned some sales from a book.
I learned more sales by making 10,000 calls.
Bro, exactly.
Any book ever.
Exactly. And it's no different for business. It's no different from fitness. It's no different from none of that stuff, bro. There is, a time and place for a book, but it's really minute that, compared to what people think, reading, so much books and all that.
You got to fail forward. A lot of people are scared to try something because they're going to fail. Like if you don't fail, you're not going to learn. Like when I'm teaching somebody, they look at me puzzled when I tell them this, but I'm like, I need you to fail as quick as possible. So now you learn what not to do. And the way I'm going to teach you is to avoid the mistakes I've made. So you learn more from your mistakes. right? What mistakes do you avoid? And I feel like that's something that everybody has to be aware of is you have to embrace failure. Failure is not a bad thing. Failure makes you wiser. It's a good thing. It's good. Now I know what doesn't work.
Exactly. You know? But going to your point with school, it teaches us to avoid failure. You know, like nobody really wants to fail. You know, and I mean, like A, B, C, you know, getting held back, you know, these grades that you get on your tests and stuff like that. You don't want to fail. I know there's some aspects of that too, but from a business standpoint, you have to fail multiple times. That's a new strategy. You have to try something and fail 50 times to find that one thing that, you know, so it's kind of crazy, but that's how I feel about school. I mean, you know, it's okay to go through your, you know, your grade 1 to college, you know, unless you want to be one of these type of jobs that you need to do to school. But for me, I need to be active, you know, so school is not where it's at in terms of being active. You got to get out in the real world, you know. So I guess to kind of bring this home, what would you kind of give maybe, you know, a younger, just starting out self in terms of advice from where you're at now to when you first started? When you first started, like, you know, you were coming into the entrepreneur world, the business world, where you're at now. What are some pieces of advice that you'll give yourself, actually?
Yeah, one of the most impactful pieces of advice I would give anyone looking to get anything is, like, your environment will reflect your outcome. Like, you have to surround yourself with the right people, right? They always say, like, you're going to be the fifth of the four people. So that's true, right? And that's where it all started for me, because not to say when I was working those 4 jobs that my coworkers were bad. It's just like they didn't have the same vision. They were comfortable. And I knew if I wanted to get to the other side, I had to get uncomfortable. I had to get comfortable getting uncomfortable. Yeah. And that's what opened doors. But when I started surrounding myself with people that were in alignment with the same vision, with the same purpose, doors started opening up for me without me trying so hard, you know. And that's what's really going to determine, like, oh, things are happening bad, like I'll be a victim. And you know, some people after work, they go to the bar, they drink, they gossip. Like, I'm over here, I'm going to read, I'm going to go networking events, I'm going to look at courses, I'm going to learn real estate, you know. And you have to implement what you learn. It's not so much just to go to these events and get motivated. You actually have to implement it, regardless of what industry or what you're getting into. So surrounding yourself with the right people, you know, and taking action will get you very far. You know, if Absolutely. I was to tell myself all over, like, those are the 2 main things, because mindset, even fitness, like, all those things are habits depending on what you surround yourself with, right? Who are the people? Are you hanging out with a bunch of people that are unhealthy or are drinking, right? And you have to make sure that you're around the right people. So, and implement.
I agree with you 100%. I would say motivation is like this, like, kindle little flame.
It comes and goes.
Yeah.
Discipline's what, 6.
But to throw gasoline on is action, and you have to, or it'll just go away, you know?
Yeah.
So a lot of people lean on that motivation, and I mean, I've kind of been guilty of that sometimes back in the day. You know, you just keep watching things, but you got to stop stuff, and, you know, you just got to kind of start doing. For the viewers who want to kind of reach out, you know, where can they find you?
I'm most active on Instagram, really. You can follow me at official Steven Morales. You know, Facebook I mainly use for business stuff. I'm not as active on Facebook, but Instagram, Facebook. I just recently started getting active on Twitter, and let me tell you, that place is a whole nother level. And the reason I signed up for Twitter is because the influencer boxing, a lot of the build up to the fights take place, whether somebody calls somebody out and stuff like that. But I'm getting more comfortable with it, right? I learned how to use it properly, and you know, that's more on the influencer boxing side. But Instagram is if you want to follow me, official Steven Morales. That's, you know, where I'm most active, and I try to, you know, give out a lot of great content. So
nice, bro. Appreciate everybody who's watching another episode for Fit for Purpose. Stay tuned for the next episode.